So today we're going to talk about intimacy, and we're also going to talk about how we have dealt with that topic, which can be very difficult for people from many different reasons. Some people come from histories of abuse, some people come from alienation. And so it's not always easy to get to intimacy with yourself and with others. So we're going to be talking about kind of why it's important and kind of our own personal journeys to that and our own backstory. So I have a guest with me, Jill E. Schultz. So say hi to the people.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great, and I'm so happy to have you on. Your background in the back looks amazing, and I hope it's not as cold there as it is here.
I'll tell you, my house has zero insulation. So even though I'm in San Diego, even though it's like 64 degrees, my house is like 50s. Like all bundled up. I've got my heater going. So probably not as cold as back east, but yeah.
You look very cozy, so
I am cozy.
so that's a great thing for intimacy to look cozy,
Yes.
and I think this is a very timely topic because I think we are in the holiday season. We just celebrated Thanksgiving. Christmas is coming. And so some people are going to be around a lot of relatives, friends, coworkers, going to holiday parties and maybe trying to build intimacy with others. And other people may be dealing with isolation and alienation and may not feel comfortable in all of these touchy-feely spaces that are coming up. So we have both I guess aspects of that, kind of the yin and the yang of intimacy. So I wanted to kind of start with the definition of what it kind of means to you.
Yeah. Intimacy is 100% vulnerability, like really just being your authentic, true self and being completely vulnerable.
I agree with you. Vulnerability can be very difficult, but I think it's powerful when we can get to that space where we can be vulnerable. And especially, I think it's powerful when we can tell our truth. And so I think that helps build intimacy with ourselves and with other people. Being able to tell our truth, being able to just, I guess you could say, some people would say, come out of the closet or take off the layers or the masks.
Yeah.
And, I say sometimes intimacy is into me, see.
Mm-hmm.
So you let people see into you. You let them see possibly your fears, your insecurities, your hangups, and also the great things about you. And you bond over the shared humanity that we all have. So,
yeah.
So I normally put up a list of 10 topics, and I know you probably saw those topics. So what kind of made you feel like intimacy would be something that you could bring some insight to? Why did you feel like you had something to say about it?
Well, I think because you and I have backgrounds in sexual trauma and intimacy and also being in a space of receiving, because I think that's also part of being intimate is receiving from other people, love and understanding and connection, have been a place that I've struggled for a very long time until I was able to, really do the deep work around healing and self-forgiveness and self-love. So I think it's a great topic to cover right now.
I think what you said is so powerful. I wrote a children's book. It's called You Are Loved and Wanted Because You're You.
Oh.
And you're talking about struggling with self-forgiveness, struggling with self-acceptance, struggling with self-love. And I think a lot of times it is difficult for us to be able to receive intimacy, to receive love, because we don't feel worthy. We don't feel, we feel damaged. And coming from a sexual abuse standpoint, there can be a lot of guilt, shame, and feelings of unworthiness, that we're damaged goods. So all of that can be something that causes us to shut off, close off, and we push people away and we shun intimacy because we're scared if people see into us, they're not going to like what they see. They're not going to accept what they see. They're not going to embrace what they see. And so we hide, we push away. And you said healing is so important in being able to develop that intimacy, because you have to first heal with yourself, and heal with your mind, your emotions, the traumas that you may have, and then be able to possibly heal some of those bonds with others. So I know that you like to do kind of I guess an introduction or a little speech before you say what you're going to say.
Disclaimer, yeah.
Yeah, a little disclaimer.
Yeah.
So I think this might be a good time for you to do your disclaimer before we kind of talk about why you have maybe a unique story in terms of coming to your place of dealing with intimacy. I think a lot of us go through similar things, but I think your story might be slightly different than other people, and you're able to bring a new perspective than other people. So if you want to do your disclaimer.
Yeah. Well, sadly, my story is not that foreign to people. It's just not being talked about. It's way more common than what's being talked about. But it's really important to me that people are safe. And the conversation you and I are about to have can be very triggering. I always say sexual trauma is like a wave, like you remember, then you forget, and then you remember and you forget. And so if right now the words that I say are a memory to you, or it's something that that you finally get to look at and deal with, I need you to be safe and protected. So on my website, Jill E. Schultz, and you can see my name on the screen, jilleschultz.com, I have a resources section. And under that you say that fast 3 times, resources section, there's a get help. And there are lots of different organizations there, anonymous organizations where you can call and share whatever you need to share in order for you to be safe during this conversation. So thank you so much for letting me say that, because that's one of the most important things to me, is knowing that people are protected right now.
Well, I definitely want people to feel protected and know that they have resources. And it's great that you have anonymous resources where people can reach out to get help and even to speak their truth and get support through whatever they're going through. So that's pretty amazing that you have that available to people.
Thank you.
Yes. So, in my healing journey, I've used a lot of tools to get to deeper intimacy. Journaling has been one of them. Meditation has been one of them. Breath work has been one of them. Therapy has been one of them. And a lot of even watching videos like this, reading books from people who've gone on a similar journey to mine. Those have been part of my healing journey, because I want to, one of my goals is to live my most authentic, most fulfilled, most healthy life, and to be able to have great connections with the people that are healthy to have great connections with. And, as a survivor of sexual abuse and even physical abuse, safety, feeling unsafe, can keep you away from all those things. And then there has to be a point where you feel like, okay, I am safe and I know how to protect myself and I have tools to protect myself. And I think that helps people to take some of the risks that are involved in developing intimate bonds with other people. So I'm going to kind of let you have the floor. And I know that you kind of wanted to take us on a journey of where you were and where you are, and kind of what you offer people in this journey to intimacy, this journey to healing. Because I